Right, number 4 says, what percent of Mr. Perry's students earned C's on the exam? So if I look at Mr. Perry's students, 20 students got A's and B's, 10 students got C's, and 5 students got D's and F's. So that means total, if I add those up, there are 35 students in Mr. Perry's class. Right, we're looking for the percent of students that got C's. So out of those 35 students, 10 of them got a C. So our fraction will be 10 out of 35. So the easiest way to go from a fraction to a percent is to divide. So 10 divided by 35, and when you type that in the calculator, you're going to get 0.2857, and it's going to keep going on and on. And then to get that into a percent, I would move the decimal 2 places to the right, or you can multiply it by 100. So that would then turn into 28.57. So I'm going to round this to about 29%. Right, number 5 says based on all 3 samples, what percent of students earn C's on the exam? So I know that there's 35 students in Mr. Perry's class, and in Mr. Carter's class, 15 students got A's and B's, 15 got C's, and 5 got D's and F's. So if I add that up, that's also 35 students. And then for Crocker's class, 18 students got A's and B's, 20 students got C's, and 2 students got D's and F's. So if I add that up, that is 40 students. So total, there are 110 students. All right, so 110 would be my denominator. And I want to know out of that 110, how many students got C's? So 10, 15, and 20. And if I add that up, that is going to give me 45. So 45 out of 110. And again, the easiest way to go from a fraction to a percent is just to divide. So 45 divided by 110 is going to give you 0.409, and it's going to keep going on. So if I move that decimal 2 places to the right, it's going to give us 40.9. And I'm going to round that to about 41%. So about 41%. Right, number 6 says, what percent of students take more than 17 minutes to get home by the bus? So I'm going to look at 17, and that is right here between 16 and 18. And I'm looking for more than 17. So each section of your box and whisker plot is 25%. So that's 25%, that's 25%, that's 25, and that's 25. It doesn't matter if one section of the box and whisker plot is longer than the other. It just means that means you have an outlier in your data, meaning one of the numbers is further off than the rest. But still, each section is 25%. So if I want to know more than 17, that would mean that I am covering these 2 sections here. So if I'm covering 2 sections of 25, that means total that it is 50%. Right, number 7 is good. Number 8 says, what is the mad value of the bus times? Right, so I'm gonna put this off to the side here. So my first section in the table, I'm just gonna list out these numbers here. All right, so I list out those numbers, and then I need to calculate the mean. So I'm going to add all those numbers up, and then I'm going to divide by 10 because there are 10 numbers there. So when I add those up, I get 188. I divide that by 10, and that gives me a mean of 18.8. So now I'm going to fill that in for my second column here. All right, then your next step is to take the numbers in the first column and subtract the mean. So 14 minus 18.8. That's going to give us negative 4.8. And I'm going to do that all the way down. All right, once you subtract everything, then you're going to go ahead and make all your negative numbers positive. And then you find the average of that. So then I'll add all these up, and then I'll divide by 10 again. So I'm going to add all these up and divide by 10. Right, when you add all those up, you get 45.2. And then you divide by 10, and that gives you a mad value of 4.52. So number 8 should be 4.52. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for number 9. So I'm going to start with listing the numbers out. All right, so when I add all of those up, I get 115. And then I divide that by 10 because there's 10 numbers. That will give us a mean of 11.5. So that is going to be my entire second column. All right, now in the third column, I take my first number and I subtract the mean. So 12 minus 11.5 is 0.5. 10 minus 11.5 is negative 1.5. I'm going to keep doing that all the way down. All right, now I'm going to change everything to positive, and then I add those up and divide by 10 again. All right, so when I add all these up, I get 20. I divide it by 10 because there's 10 numbers. So that gives me a mad value of 2. And then number 10 is correct. All right, let me know if you have any questions on those before you do the retake.